Republicans Radio on WICR.
Good morning, I'm Matt Ricker here on Maloney and Ricker with...
And I am Bill Maloney. It's nice to be here with you this Tuesday morning before Thanksgiving break. And we do have some news regarding the show. Matt, would you like to get into it?
Yes, I'm announcing that I won't be on Maloney and Ricker next semester because I'm leaving for personal reasons. I thank you, Bill, for my time here, and I appreciate everyone here at WICR for giving me this experience, and I hope to be back one day.
Yes, Matt. You know you are one of my best friends, and it has been great doing this with you in our first semester here at Iona. And, you know, whatever you have to do, and I completely understand it. And for other people that heard our opening line, Young Republicans Radio, the reason we did that this time instead of opening with something else is because for these last two shows of Maloney and Ricker, we're going to be previewing another show that I will be starting next semester called Young Republicans Radio, where I'm trying to have a roundtable discussion in the style of a Meet the Press or any political roundtable discussion. And that'll be interesting, but I will be doing another show here, and it will be with my friend Rob Baez, and we won't be doing a political talk show. We will be doing a sports show. So that's it, but thank you, Matt. Thank you for everything.
I thank you for coming on the radio with me, and appreciate all the time and everything, and thank you. It's been a great experience.
Yes, well, anyways, we got news to cover today, don't we, Matt?
Yes, we are starting with the gun control debate here in America. It's just a really very hard topic, I'd say, today, because it seems like every few weeks or so there's a mass shooting, and it's very heartbreaking to see that that's happening in America, one of the greatest countries in the world. And so if any of you, I'm sure most of you remember, it'll be 2 years ago this December, the Newtown massacre at Newtown Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, where Adam Lanza, who was mentally ill, opened fire in an elementary school and killed 20-somewhat children, innocent children. So something needs to be done with gun control, but yet, we don't want to violate the Second Amendment in
So, Matt, what would you propose?
Well, I'd say, gun control is a very hard issue for me to take a stance on, because I'm kind of split in the middle. I feel that gun owners who are hunters and people that just want a weapon for protection, should be entitled to having one in their home, no doubt about that. Because if an armed criminal was...
Well, Matt, I don't believe that the problem is legal gun owners. I think that the problem is our system. We need a more comprehensive background check system.
Yeah.
And besides that, we have to attack how guns are getting into criminals' hands. They aren't going to Walmart where they actually sell guns now, and they aren't going to their gun store. They're going down into the city, onto the streets, and they're getting it through the black market. So they're coming in here illegally. And actually, up in Boston, whenever I'm on the Massachusetts Turnpike, whenever I'm up there, I see this big sign outside of Fenway Park where it says how many illegal guns have been sold in the country as of date. And then it shows how many deaths there have been. And, people that have guns legally, they aren't out there shooting people. People that have guns illegally are the ones committing the mass crimes.
Exactly. It's just, there's...
And also, you have to look at whose hands they're in. If you have someone that can handle a weapon, then by every means, they have the right through the Second Amendment. But if you have a person who can handle the weapon, then you can't allow for that.
Yep, and it's like you said, Bill, too many guns in the street, and something needs to be done to contain it all. And yeah.
Yeah, well, didn't you say you had something regarding the Florida State University
Yes.
shooting?
Yes. Last week there was, or not last week. I'm sorry. About
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, there was a shooting on Florida State University's campus where a former student, an alumni, walked into the school's library where students were studying for finals and whatever else they're doing, and started shooting, and thankfully nobody died, but at the end of this whole event, the gunman turned and killed himself, it's just an unfortunate situation. It brings up the matter of security on college campuses across the country, how secure they are, and if people have weapons on them, that's a concern.
Now, the correlation between the Florida State University campus shooting and the gun control debate is that the president of the university was actually a state senator, and he was one of the most important figures in the state legislature at the time to defeating an NRA bill that would actually allow for guns to be on campus. So, right then and there, you see that the state president is opposed to having guns on campus, and he even proved that with his vote in the legislature, and maybe if that bill passed, then maybe there wouldn't have been a shooting.
Yeah, and it was. I'm reading from an article on csmonitor.com. It's raising questions around the United States about how the best way to protect students on college campuses and whether students should be allowed to carry weapons on campus for self-defense. And most of the 4,400 United States colleges and universities currently ban firearms on campus. I don't know about that. I mean, if you want to have a concealed weapon on you,
the only way to go fight a bad guy is by fighting. If the guy has a weapon there, you aren't going to go talk to him and get him to not shoot you.
Yeah.
The only way to fight a gun is with a gun, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard situation, and I should mention that in Colorado, Maryland, Connecticut, and New York passed new gun control laws since 2012, particularly after the Newtown massacre.
And they were all right through the night, and they violated gun owners. They violated the rights of gun owners. They made gun owners criminals overnight. Even here in New York, where we see the New York Safe Act, commonly referred to as the Unsafe Act on Long Island and upstate, where all of a sudden you can only have 7 bullets. And Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, he famously said, "How many bullets does it take to go kill a deer?" That's what he said, and that's how he mocks citizens. But yet they don't address the real issue. The real issue is that you have criminals coming in here with guns and selling it on the black market. Just like that sign up in Boston says, it's not Boston, in a very, very liberal state. It's not legal gun owners that are causing the problem. It's the people that own guns illegally, the people that you can't track their weapons.
Yep.
That's what the problem is.
And people that get the guns from out of the country and from, Mexico or overseas.
Yes. And that even extends over to the immigration crisis.
Yeah.
People just aren't coming in here and coming here illegally. They're also bringing other things, such as weapons.
Yes.
And other practices or whatever. Or diseases. So, I mean, everything has to be looked at very carefully. And everything, they're tied with one another. And what was he going to say? If you look at Chicago, Illinois, that city has the most comprehensive gun control laws in the entire country.
And it's not working.
It is not working. That has the highest murder rate per capita.
And the murder rate is higher than soldiers getting killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard that before. That it's many people have been shot on the streets than in Afghanistan.
Yes. So what I propose is that this country, instead of pointing a finger at the other party, instead of pointing a finger at black or white or anyone and saying, oh, you're the cause of this, instead of saying, oh, downstate or upstate is the problem, why don't we just sit down at the table and talk about the real issue? The real issue is not legal gun owners. The real issue is people that have guns legally. And the other part of the issue is also solving the mental health department. We need to have a more comprehensive mental health system where people with mental illnesses, they just can't have guns because they aren't able to fully handle weaponry. Just like Adam Lanza and other shooters at massive shootings, they've had mental illnesses, and maybe if we had a more tighter, comprehensive system, we would have prevented these things.
Exactly. I mean, people with mental illness don't belong in typical emergency rooms. They need therapy that will actually, I mean, maybe not cure it, but cope with it. Yeah.
Anyways, man, I think that is enough for the discussion as of now.
Yes.
So, what do you want to do? You want to go to a commercial break?
Yeah. We'll go to a commercial break, and
we'll be back.
We'll be back.
The NFL didn't respect, but fear. This must-have features interviews with players and coaches like Bobby Hebert, Marv Levy, and much more. Hundreds of photos will take you back to the 80s when